Ronnie Price, Mayor.
Tim Berry, City Council Member.
Colin Gallagher, City Council Member.
Homer, City Council Member.
Bob Buchanan, Police Chief.
Rick Lance, Director of Public Works and Utilities.
Mark Roosevelt, Deputy Fire Chief.
Matt Kane, Director of Finance.
JT Klaus, City Attorney.
Les Mangus, Director of Community Development.
Jolene Graham, Assistant City Administrator.
Jennifer McCausland, City Administrator.
All right. At this time, I would ask Rick Neubauer, Lead Police and Fire Chaplain, to lead us in prayer. How you doing, sir?
Doing good tonight. Thank you. Let's pray. Lord God, we humbly come before you tonight with understanding that your comprehension and your ways are much greater than ours. And so tonight, on behalf of those who lead our city, our elected leaders, we ask for wisdom and discernment. We pray that as you lead them and guide them, they will come together as a group, focusing on the things that our city and citizens need, that personal agendas would be set aside, and that for the betterment of our community, they would make decisions. We ask you to watch over them and their families, as you watch over all of our city personnel, fire, police, everybody that's involved in what goes on in our city. We know it's a privilege to be here, and ask that you would just watch over them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Now, if you would stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. At this time, I'll open up the floor for a public forum. If you have something you'd like to speak to the council about, feel free to do so. Keep it short and feel free to come visit. Nobody. All right. This time, the public forum is closed. Acceptance of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Was that Homer?
Yes. Jody, second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Calm down. Motion carries 6-0. Milestone awards, and we will start with Mike Roosevelt.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council staff, and those gathered here this evening. I'd like to take a moment, Mike Roosevelt, the Deputy Fire Chief for our fire department here. I'd like to take just a moment and share a little bit about our 10-year recipient. And Felicia, would you come and join me up here? Because you know that's what the boss would do, and he'll have my hide if I don't do it too. Felicia Massey joined Andover Fire Rescue 10 years and 10 days ago. During the onset of severe weather season here and the peak of the grass and wildfire season. In fact, it was a red flag day, not that different than the last several weeks we've experienced these past few weeks in this part of town. 4:01 p.m. AFR was toned out for a small grass fire about 3 miles east of town. The fire chief and the first due apparatus left the station, and I turned to Felicia and I said, "Hey, do you want to go see what we do?" She thought about it for a second and said, "Sure." And so we got in my truck and headed towards the scene. That small fire rapidly turned into a wildland urban interface conflagration where her really nice clothes and open-toed shoes probably weren't the best attire, but she stayed in the truck the whole time. While we engaged in wildfire recon, bouncing around burning fields, crossing creeks, and being thrust into the incident command structure and taking notes and keeping us all straight as the day progressed. I'm not sure if that's the way you remember it or not, but that was day one. And quoting Viper from the movie Top Gun, "You had one hell of a first day." So along with your skill set, you brought to us graphic design and expertise that came to bear on all sorts of AFR projects, including developing public safety messages. Like this one, severe weather season is upon us. Please be attentive to the weather situations around you. Good work again, by the way. You built partnerships with external stakeholders such as the Andover Caring and Sharing Organization, the Andover Food Bank, Andover Senior Center, the Andover Police and Fire Foundation, and the Andover Chamber of Commerce. You played a key role in the creation of the annual Fire Department Administration Conference, serving on boards with the Chamber of Commerce and the Women's Symposium and the Cornhole tournaments, among others. During the COVID pandemic, Felicia developed nearly all of the graphics and signage for both of the El Dorado and Andover vaccination clinics. And she was an instrumental part of our team supporting the Andover clinic location. She has been solely responsible for the Andover Fire annual report that looks like this for the last, well, since she got here, actually, because we didn't have one before then. And the quality of this document has helped propel the high bar of professionalism in our organization, keeping us all in line and presenting a high bar that we all try to meet. And that passion for what we do has earned her the title of Firehouse Mom. So thank you for the last 10 years of service to our department and our community, and for truly being a friend to me. And though we all, that's dressed in blue, have learned there's your way, there's my way, and there's the Massey way.
Speech? All right, next, Buck Buchanan and Les Mangus are going to present the next award.
I don't know if we've ever done this before where we had two speakers. It's kind of crazy a little bit. But Mayor and council members and staff, we appreciate this opportunity to celebrate one of our former police officers, Mickey Ferris. So Mick, come on up. So to give you a little background, Mickey started with the department back in 1997 as a reserve officer. So he really goes way far back with the department. He left to go become a full-time officer with another department. And once the former chief back then realized what a valuable asset he was, he's like, hey, I got to get him back to Andover. And Mickey definitely did a number and then some, because he immediately took over code when he came back full-time. I'm the one that did it before him. I was very glad he ended up doing it. So it's what's weird is it takes two of us to come up here and present this award, and I'm not trying to make fun of anything, but Mickey is larger than life in many different ways. And he'll tell you a lot of times that people will misjudge him in many different ways, but he is one of the toughest guys out there in many ways that you can think of. So kind of funny things, I'm not going to drag it out because people know how I like to get up here and talk forever. But I'm going to let Les take over here in a second. But if you look at Mickey, his awards that he received as a police officer, his chest with his medals looked like an Army general. I mean, it was just huge and weighed him down a little bit. But what is more important with Mickey is his legacy continues to live on statewide, not just within the city of Andover, but his canine experience with him being a canine handler. He helped us go pick out our last dog. And so far, this dog, Kilo, is amazing. And it's because of his expertise in picking out a dog. I mean, he's a dog whisperer more than anything. So I'm grateful for his time. And we were fortunate that he decided to stick around and go back to code enforcement, which he does an amazing job. So I'm going to turn it over to Les to finish this off.
As Buck said, Mickey was a police officer for over 19 years. But during that time, we worked together. We worked on code enforcement together. Mickey was my go-to guy when I managed Greater Andover days. He's the best there is at handling traffic and parking and organized that for, I don't know how many years, 10 plus years. So we were glad to have Mickey when he retired from the police department. He was the right guy at the right time for the job. He's got the right attitude to be a code inspector. He recently, just last week, passed a certification exam to become a property maintenance and housing inspector. It was a really big deal for a cop to become a housing inspector. The details are completely different. Mickey worked for months to achieve that. And we're so proud of him that he passed that test. And we have him on our staff now. A lot of people don't know, Mickey's a gentleman farmer. He has a miniature horse and donkey and rabbits and dogs and
Wife's pets. I thought we were gonna eat them all, but
so with that, Mickey, I want to present you with that certificate and a little something that might help out around the farm.
oh, thank you,
Thanks, my friend.
thank you. Keep it short. It's been a pleasure. I enjoy every day. I enjoy coming to work every day. This is a great place, probably the best place I've ever worked for. If anybody ever has a chance to come to work for the city of Andover, your dreams will come true. Mine did, and still continue.
Would you, Mickey, would you speak to what you do out in well, you did some stuff out in McConnell with the animals as well, right?
Yes, so McConnell actually, their canines, they work all over with Butler counties, Andover. So we would go out there and they would help us train, we would help them train. And so lately, one of the biggest things, we were just out there, they got a big facility. It's going to be one of the biggest canine facilities for the Air Force anywhere around. So it's a pretty awesome place. And so we all work together. And so I still go out there and train, and I still go out to the Kansas Police Dog Association and help them, and I'm still with them. And so, yeah, I love dogs.
Yeah.
So anytime I can go out and be of help or anything and still help. And when we went down to Texas to get this canine, we were sitting there and I was talking to the new handler and says, all right, we're going to do this, this, and this, and we're going to pick the best one. And so we were looking at each one. I think we ended up testing 6 or 7 of them, and we went with the best one. It was kind of funny. It's like, because the new canine handler, he's kind of low key, and this other canine, or the canine handler, was low key, and the canine was up. So me and the other guy talked to him. He goes, I like this one. He goes, well, that one's low key. You don't want 2 low keys on the same thing. You need somebody to bring somebody up or somebody down. And so then we thought about it, and I'm like, perfect match, because this dog is a little pistol, and so he's going to bring him up or calm him down. So he brought him over the other day to City Hall, and yeah, he was just very lovable, friendly. You could pet him. He was a good dog. And then his commands, he can sit, stay, everything. So yeah, I'm glad I think we picked the right dog. It's going to be another Thor, I should say.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
All right, next one, Jolene Graham.
Good evening. Tonight, we celebrate our Public Works Director, Rick Lansbury's service to the city of Andover. Rick started with the city on January 16th, 2006, which means as of January 16th, 2026, he has officially hit 2 decades. That's not just a milestone, that's a legacy. Now, I've been thinking about how to properly honor 20 years of service, and I kept coming back to a comparison of Rick to one show, one coach, one beautiful, comical, surprisingly moving television program. That's right, we're going full Ted Lasso tonight. Ted once said, taking on a challenge is a lot like riding a horse. If you're comfortable while doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. So with Rick, with all of the challenges you have faced head on, I'm impressed with how well you hide being uncomfortable. So to push your limits, I brought props. So as we're celebrating you tonight, you can be challenged uncomfortably as we celebrate you. So let's begin. Our city administrator put it well, and I want to share her words because they capture Rick with the right mix of gratitude and truth. Rick, thank you for all you do and have done for the city of Andover. you have certainly worn many hats during your 2 decades of service, from GIS to stormwater management, from IT to public works, from Clark Griswold to Kansas APWA president. And in those 20 years, like Farmers Insurance, you've seen some things. Building an amphitheater, running an amphitheater, a tornado nearly taking out the amphitheater, just to name a few. Andover has been so fortunate to have you. She's right. Rick has worn a lot of hats over the years. So, in the spirit of Ted Lasso, Rick, I'd like to present you with your first prop, a Ted Lasso visor. Yep, you're supposed to put it on. In 20 years, as Jenny said, you've seen things. Public Works in Andover doesn't just have projects, we have stories. We have construction budget overruns and change orders. We have storm-related plot twists. But one of your genuine superpowers is this. When it gets intense, you stay calm. When it gets loud, you get steady. And when something goes sideways, you don't panic, you plan. Now, Ted Lasso fans know the scene. Season 3, Episode 1, a reporter nails Ted about comments mocking him in the press. The whole room is watching, and Ted just smiles. He is humble. He cracks a joke. He completely disarms the room, not because he didn't feel the sting of it, but because he refused to let it own him. Rick does that. The project is over budget. Rick's already building a solution before anyone finishes the sentence. The storm hits. Rick's already out on the scene. The meeting gets heated. Rick's the calmest person in the room. Same attitude every time. We've got this. And hey, be a goldfish. That kind of steady, under the spotlight leadership deserves only one thing: Ted Lasso sunglasses. Now, the Ted Lasso comparison really does fit, not because Rick walks around with witty pop cultural references from the 80s and 90s, but because he leads the way you hope somebody would lead in public service, with empathy, with high expectations, and with an ability to keep a team together even when the work gets heavy. Ted says, be curious, not judgmental. In our world, that looks like the way Rick listens to a frustrated resident, hearing the real issue underneath the complaint, and still moving towards a solution without anyone feeling dismissed. And it's also culture. Rick, you've built a culture that sticks. You pull your team together, you recognize good work, and you've created the kind of department where people feel proud to belong. Some leaders lead with authority, some with expertise, some with volume. Rick leads with trust. And tonight, we're making the Ted Lasso comparison official. You have to pull it off. And Rick, if you're thinking this is ridiculous, just remember, you had to do the FEMA reporting for us. Ted Lasso had a whistle. Oh, no. Yeah, you're looking good. One of the most famous things in Ted Lasso is the believe sign. Ted's believe isn't the fluffy kind. It's not believe and ignore reality. It's the kind of belief that says we can do hard things. We can work the problem. We can stay kind. We can work together. Rick, you've brought that exact spirit to Andover, especially in the moments where believing is hardest. Tornado and Kansas storm recovery, tight budgets, even tighter grand opening timelines. You know, the kind of unexpected challenges that show up uninvited and then refuse to leave. Your believe has never been a poster. It's been a habit. It's how you show up when things are hard. It's how you treat people when they're stressed. And it's how you keep moving forward without leaving anyone behind. So, Rick, this is for wherever you'll see it, the day the phone rings and you already know it's going to be one of those days. So our final prop, Ted Lasso had a whistle, not because he loved noise, but because he knew when it was time to bring the team in, reset, and focus. Rick, you've delivered real results with your team, long-term capital projects, financially prudent infrastructure planning, and emergency response and recovery preparedness for bad weather. You're on the path to lead your department currently towards national accreditation. But here's the most important part. Rick doesn't just manage projects, he builds people. He's a person others go to when they're stuck. He takes the time to develop others, creating departmental awards and ladders for career growth so that our organization gets stronger for years to come. Rick is currently overseeing a $42 million wastewater treatment plant expansion. Now, Ted Lasso fans will remember also in season 3, episode 1, when Coach took his entire team into the London sewers, not as punishment, but as a lesson. He told them they needed to build an internal sewer system inside themselves, connect to each other's tunnels, and let the negativity just flow away. Rick is not only literally building a wastewater treatment plant expansion for Andover, but he also actively cultivates that type of connection and positivity in all of us who work with him. That's leadership, that's coaching. So Rick, the final prop today represents exactly how you've led for 20 years, not by yelling, not by blaming, but by guiding, teaching, and keeping your team aligned. When you've got a public works department, you don't need more noise. You need the right signal at the right time. And Rick has been that signal. I also want to recognize your wife, Dee, and your son, Tyler. Thank you for your sacrifices over these 20 years. Thank you for sharing Rick with us, for the missed family times and the ball games and the late nights over the years so that Rick could serve the citizens of Andover. Thank you. And Rick, you've served Andover through a surprising number of we're fine moments that were, in fact, not fine. But you've shown up every single day with consistency, professionalism, humor, and heart. You've given the city 20 years of that. You've made the work better, you've made the people around you better, and you've made Andover better. So on behalf of the city, thank you for your service, your leadership, your friendship, and your steady example. As a token of our appreciation, I'm excited to say we have some LED lights for your golf cart. And many of you don't know, but Rick spends hundreds of hours each year on our Christmas lights display. He programs it. And Rick, I'm happy to tell you, this just automatically will sync with the music on your phone. And also, I have a set of these floor mats upstairs for you, so you can outfit your new golf cart. So please join me on giving Rick Landsrath a very well-deserved round of applause. Congratulations. What a fangirl.
Well, payback is coming at some point. I've seen through a lot of these and I've heard employees come up and say that a lot of thanks to the mayor and council, and I'd agree and I would pass it along. And Mickey, your comments about being a really great place to work and stuff. I worked at 2 other cities before I came here, and I wouldn't trade this place for nothing. I'll be honest about that. But I would also say that it's not only the mayor and council, it's the residents of this community are pretty good to work for. You can come across some hard arguments with them or disagreements and where they're frustrated, but you could talk to them and they listen. And a lot of times you can bring them around to understanding what the real situation is. I'd also like to say that the supervising staff of this organization is great. Jenny, Jolene, your attitudes radiate down through the rest of us and it sets the tone. But mostly I would like to thank the people that work in my department because they rise me up, quite honestly. They make me look good sometimes, and maybe I shouldn't look so good. They bail me out. And so I do really appreciate my staff that works with us. I feel like the Public Works team is a really good team. I know everybody always says that, and it's a cliche, but I truly, honestly believe it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you have to keep that mustache on though.
Y'all got to admit that was worth the price of admission right there, wasn't it? Oh, Rick. All right. Proclamation 8-1, Proclamation National Cheerleaders Association Champions are in the house.
Yeah. If you ladies want to come up here,
Yes, please.
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 Grab your trophy.
Yeah, I can't miss that.
Man, look at that.
Wow.
Gonna have to have Gerwick buy a new trophy case.
Yeah. Needs its own vehicle.
And those are really nice jackets.
Those are epic. I have a short proclamation to read. Whereas the Andover Central High School cheer team achieved a historic milestone by winning a national championship at the National Cheerleaders Association High School Nationals in Fort Worth, Texas, marking the first national title in program history. And whereas the Jaguars earned their place on the national stage through a highly competitive regional qualification process and demonstrated exceptional resilience and adaptability by refining their routine through constant changes leading up to the competition. And whereas this championship represents a significant achievement for this program, surpassing the team's previous best national finish of third place. And whereas the team's success was strengthened by outstanding leadership from its 8 senior captains and their coaches. And whereas the Andover Central High School cheer team's accomplishment brings pride to their school, families, and the entire Andover community. Therefore, I, Tim Brunson, with the City Council here assembled in regular session on the 31st day of March 2026, hereby proclaim April 1st, 2026, Andover Central Cheer National Champions Day.
Right.
Congratulations. Picture time.
Scoosh.
Do we need to move those chairs, Megan, or is this good?
Congratulations.
Excellent
girls.
job.
Congratulations. We're all very proud of y'all. Thank you. Right. 8-2, Proclamation Child Abuse Prevention Month, and Marla Canfield is going to read this for us.
Whereas Child Abuse Prevention Month will be recognized throughout the United States during April 2026, and whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community problem that depends on involvement among people throughout the community, and whereas child maltreatment occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without community resources and don't know how to cope, and whereas the majority of child abuse cases stem from situations, conditions that are preventable and engaged and supportive community, and whereas child abuse neglect can be reduced by making sure each family has support they need to raise their children in a healthy environment. And whereas child abuse and neglect not only directly harms children, but also increases the likelihood of criminal behavior, substance abuse, health problems such as heart disease and obesity, and risky behavior such as smoking. And whereas all citizens should become involved in supporting families and raising their children in a safe, nurturing environment. And whereas effective child abuse programs succeed because of partnerships created among social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas we can strengthen families and prevent child abuse right from the start. Now, I, Marla Canfield, do hereby proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Andover and call upon all citizens, community agencies, religious organizations, medical facilities, businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to prevent child abuse, thereby strengthening communities which we live.
consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the consent agenda items 9.1 through 9.6 as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. Public hearing or public hearing, general obligation bond series A-2026. And it looks like JT's gonna talk about this.
First of all, I want to assure everyone that after 60 years, I'm very used to all the cheerleaders leaving the room when I get up to talk. We're going to hold a special assessment hearing here in a moment. For some of you, this may be the first time you've spread special assessments on properties, and for that reason, we thought it might be good to have a quick review. What you're getting ready to do tonight is to have a hearing and spread the special assessments on the Green Valley Greens 11th edition improvements, the Redbud Trail paving improvements, the Prairie Creek 7th phase improvements, the Posties Patch sewer improvements, the Meadowbrook 4th improvements, and the Tuscany edition 5th phase improvements. Your staff published a notice of this public hearing because you called this public hearing by resolution at your meeting on March 31st. When you adopted a resolution, actually it was adopted on February 24th, and it called the hearing for tonight on March 31st. Staff did the best estimates they could for what all the special assessments would be, and those estimates were mailed on February 27th to absolutely everybody who owns property in one of the special assessment districts. And that notice was published on March 7th on the city's website, all in anticipation of tonight's public hearing. Now, I wanted to take a minute to discuss the purpose of the public hearing. State law requires us to have this public hearing in order to hear complaints, concerns, and any corrections to the special assessments. And actually, we're going to have a couple tonight, minor corrections relating to some interest computations. The public hearing is not to decide whether or not we're going to have special assessments on these properties. They're going to be levied, and other than giving the chance for you to hear everyone's concerns and to make sure we've assessed the property correctly, that's the purpose of this public hearing. After the public hearing, you're going to adopt a special assessment ordinance that is going to lawfully level special assessment taxes on every lot in those developments for the next 20 years. And after you do that, a final exact computation of what every lot will owe will be mailed to the property owners, and they will have until May 24th to pay those special assessments off, should they elect to do so.
You said 24th. Is it the 4th or the 24th?
They have until May 4th to pay the special assessments. We usually shoot for 30 days. It's after this hearing. It's not a requirement, but Andover has done pretty good about trying to give people a month to do that. Sometimes people ask me why you would want to pay your special assessments in advance and not have special assessments levied on your property, and I really can't come up with a good reason for that. So I'll just lead with that as we move forward. The additions tonight have some real commonalities that we wanted to talk about. Absolutely everything that's being spread tonight was asked for by the developer who owned the property at the time, who said, please make these improvements and spread special assessments on these properties. 100% of the owners. You might have been familiar with special assessments we've spread to do roads and other things, which can be done on a 50% petition. We don't have any of those tonight. These improvements were 100% property owner requested. All final costs that are finally determined are within the petition, the requested amounts. One of the unique things about these projects is that they were financed from city funds. We didn't finance any of these projects out of temporary notes. It's important because that's complicated, but I want you to understand it. Historically, Andover issued temporary notes, sometimes for 2, sometimes for 3 years. We then built all the improvements, and when they were done, we would refinance those temporary notes with the permanent improvements that we'd special assess over 20 years. Andover didn't do that. Andover used other city funds to fund these, and this reduces significantly both the cost of the special assessments and the city portion of the improvements, because you don't have the temporary note interest from the day you issued the temporary notes, and you don't have the cost of paying bond counsel to issue temporary notes and an underwriter to sell temporary notes and a financial advisor to advise on temporary notes. So the city saves a significant amount of money by doing it this way, as do the property owners on their special assessments. Why is that important? Because what we do charge is the lost interest on the investment on the city's money if it could have effectively had it invested in the bank at that time. That's why there's no harm to the citizen taxpayer by doing it this way. We are going to recoup the costs of that lost interest in the bond issue, but we don't want you to think that we're loaning the city's money to the developers. We're not. We're recouping every penny of that in the cost of interest computations. Realize we didn't issue temporary notes at the beginning when the interest would normally accrue. So this saves even more money because the interest accrues as you actually spend the money, and you only lose the investment rate. You don't have to pay the borrowing rate on the temporary notes. Also makes the job a little harder of computing the costs. All the assessments on this project are on a per lot basis, which is simple and not usually the case. And most of these projects are 100% assessed against the benefit district, not the city at large. There are two exceptions. The exceptions are the Green Valley Greens 11th edition water improvements are being paid 28.5% by the city at large. My understanding is that that pipe was upsized to serve future additions and to benefit the city at large. And so for that, and on that basis, the city at large picked up a small portion of those otherwise special assessments. The other one is Harrison Street. This is the 0.9 improvement in all of the improvements that went in there. And as an incentive there, the city paid 50% of the West Harrison Street improvements to get the new facility there at the Red Bud Trail. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted you to know there shouldn't be anybody here to complain tonight. And that's because we've done a very good job of making sure people know this is a coming. We record the advisability resolution with the Register of Deeds. This means that it's on their title work when they buy their house, it's posted on the title insurance when they buy their home, and it's disclosed to them. In addition, over the last 10 years, we've added an agreement to our development agreement that requires developers to share their development agreement with the new home purchasers when they're sold. The development agreement, of course, outlines all the specials so that everybody should be getting a copy of that if for some reason they're not paying attention to their title insurance. And then finally, there shouldn't really be an element of surprise here because it's on all their closing documents when they purchase their home. And remember, it was the property owner developers that asked us to make these improvements. So here are the improvements. The Green Valley Greens edition has a sewer improvement. It cost finally $37,682.32. That is exactly how we noticed it up. They received a notice in the mail, and that is its final cost. The final cost on the water ended up being $33,014.49. That is exactly what we noticed them up for, but in fact, they're going to pay less than that because, as I pointed out, the city is going to pay 28.5% of that water improvement. So actually, we over-noticed them a little bit. Not a problem. That's a correction we can make tonight at the public hearing. And if you're interested, that means the total cost assessed to that lot will be $61,287.68. The Red Bud Trail paving improvements ended up costing $337,827.78. We noticed this one up at $319,469.76 when we did our estimates. This math correction was necessary to reflect that interest cost that we lost during construction. We had that all figured up, and so we needed to make that correction. There's only one lot in this edition and it's assessed at 50%. So that lot owner's assessment will be $168,913.89. The next one was the Prairie Creek 7th phase improvement. Here, we did sewer with a final cost of $325,551. We noticed that one up a little light. Again, the adjustment is for interest. They will receive a notice after this meeting that has their final cost noted to them on a per lot basis. That ends up being $8,347 per lot over 20 years. Water the same way, a final cost of $307,268. It was noticed up a little light at $289,000. And finally, then the paving, which cost $810,633 when all the interest was computed and added, which we noticed up at $795,000. The ultimate cost per lot for all of those improvements is going to be $37,000, $37,011.63. The Posties patch improvements, they were sewer improvements. Their final cost was $40,851.75. That's our estimate was spot on. That was finished. We had everything computed. That was done. Their cost for that sewer improvement is going to be $13,617.25 per lot. The Meadowbrook 4th improvements, sewer was $602,297.95. We noticed that one spot on. That's $14,000 per lot. Water, $250,000 final cost. We noticed up that one spot on for $5,800 per lot over 20 years. And paving was $1,088,000. That is exactly what we noticed all the property owners up at for a per lot cost of $25,324.78, or a total per lot assessment over 20 years of $45,128.05. Tuscany Edition sewer, $299,994 final cost. That's $11,000 per lot. That is exactly the estimate we sent them. Water was $201,000. That's $7768.08 per lot. That is exactly how we noticed them up for tonight's hearing. And the paving was $781,214.02, which is exactly how we noticed it up. The total per lot cost here over 20 years is $49,353.04. So what are you going to do tonight? I'm done. So you're going to open the public hearing, and we're going to see if you have any residents here who want to complain or issue concerns about how we've computed these special assessments, after which you will adopt the special assessment ordinance. We will mail the final exact corrected assessment notice to all affected property owners following the public hearing. Homeowners will have until May 4th to pay those special assessments. And then at your next meeting, you will likely call a public sale of your 2026 GO bonds for permanently financing these over 20 years. I say likely because there's a bill that got passed by the Kansas legislature that could greatly complicate all of that and make it all a lot more expensive. But we're hoping that doesn't come to be. I'd be delighted to answer any questions, and then Mr. Mayor, you can open the public hearing.
Anyone? Thank you. It was very well explained. Appreciate it. At this time, I will open the floor for a public hearing on the matter. Feel free to come up and state your problems, what you have a problem with, and or anything else. We have no one in the audience. So at this time, I will close the public hearing and we will move forward. 11, special assessment ordinance series A 2026 general obligation bond, and JT and Matt Cohn. Did I say that wrong? Will talk to us about this.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you just went over it, JT. I don't see any need to, okay. I move to adopt an ordinance levying special assessments against property in Meadowlark 4th edition, Tuscany 5th edition, Prairie Creek 7th edition, Green Valley Greens 11th edition, Posties Patch edition, and Redbud Trail Edition for improvements in said additions, and authorizing staff to send notice to property owners in such additions detailing special assessments and allowing such property owners until Monday, May 4th, 2026 at noon to pay said special assessments in full without incurring interest costs related to debt issued for financing such improvements.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say.
Just tell them to look seconded.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0.
Star Wars Day.
All right. 12 on Capitol Federal Amphitheater backstage fencing, and I believe Rick is going to speak about this.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we've been over this subject a couple times in some previous workshops. And before you tonight is for your consideration is the backstage fencing proposals that we received. The selection one that we're recommending is from American Fence, and they have done very numerous jobs around our community and for us, and we've been really happy with them, and we'd recommend that those be selected. They be selected for this project.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the proposal from American Fence Company for installation of backstage fencing in the amount of $62,915.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. KDOT is assess, KDOT, man, I'm having trouble. KDOT, one more time. KDOT is Access Management Construction Program City-State Agreement. 13-1 Cloud to Clyde Street to Allen. Clyde Street to Allen, 8th Mile West Improvements Project, KDOT as Access Management Construction Program City-State Agreement. Man, that was a mouthful. Man. And Les is going to talk to us about that.
Mr. Mayor and Council, that's a lot of words, a lot of acronyms. This agreement is probably familiar to some of you all. This is the 5th access management grant we've been awarded in the past few years for the construction of our backage roads. You may remember that all of Founders Parkway was constructed in this program. Altogether there we collected about $5.5 million towards the construction of that project. This grant for the first city KDOT access management program section of the South Backage Road, which we're going to have to rename. On one end, it's Cloud Street, and on the other, it's Clyde Street, is a $2 million grant, which is the maximum for the program. The agreement before you tonight just sets out that relationship between the city and the state and establishes that KDOT's maximum participation is $2 million and the remainder is for the city. The city's costs in this agreement are for preliminary engineering, right-of-way acquisition, relocation of any utilities, and the construction engineering, which we estimate all total to be about $900,000. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anyone?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Les, if I may. So just to clarify for anyone who's watching, and maybe for my own benefit too, as a relative newbie, that we have previously received a grant for the western half, I guess, of that, more on the Clyde Street side, for the previous phases of the expansion project, correct? And this is for the eastern half mile of where Clyde will connect to Cloud, is that correct?
Well, like everything I do, it's complicated.
I figured.
The west half mile, which is on the original Clyde Street alignment is part of the Phase 1 East Kellogg Freeway project. So it's actually in KDOT's project, not an access management project
Okay.
with KDOT.
Okay.
Cloud Avenue is a city project that was built 20-some years ago. The project in this agreement is for 1/8 of a mile, which extends across the next 19-acre property from Allen Street west. There is an intervening 1/8 of a mile that the agreement with KDOT is it will be built with the Phase 2 freeway project, which makes that connection all the way from 159th Street to Andover Road.
It's fair to say that KDOT's doing us solid by doing this 8th mile and as part of Phase 1, isn't it?
Yes, we've had a great working relationship with KDOT on preparing for this series of freeway projects through using their access management funds.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Les, in reference to specifically this South Backage Road that we were talking about here, is there currently any homes or businesses that would be removed or affected due to this?
No, Colin, that's a great question. The 19 acres that this roadway crosses is a future site of an apartment complex. And the owners of the property are dedicating the right of way in order to make the way for road improvements.
Thank you for clarifying.
It benefits them as well, this other 1/8 of a mile. And more importantly, for the city of Andover, it's citizens of Andover, in my humble opinion. Right now, they're going to start tearing 143rd up, and when they do, Les can speak to this much more intelligently than I can. But Andover Road and Kellogg will be at failing status, period. So that was the reason for us pushing so hard to get, we've got the north side, you'll be able to get off at 159th, and it will alleviate traffic from Andover Road and Kellogg. This extra 1/8 of a mile, in turn, will do the same thing. It will relieve people if they're going to Dillon's or they live in the south part of town, they will be able to get off and not go to Andover Road. So it's to me, both those in my mind are, we're calling backage roads, but in my mind, they're safety corridors. And Les has done a lot of work to get that 1/8 of a mile. So it never ceases to amaze me that the city staff, what they managed to pull off of working and to get stuff done. So, but to me, like I say, that 1/8 of a mile, we'll never know, but we'll never know. I stutter when I get tired. We'll never know, but that road will probably save lives. We'll never know how many. So and that's all I have to say about that.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, one more question, clarification. It looks like on the graphic in our packet that it's going to be named Clyde Street. Is that official, or will we make a decision in the
That's
future
yet to be decided.
Okay. Clyde and Cloud do sound quite similar.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
She said Clude.
Les, in regards to west of Clyde Street, is that neighborhood or that street coming off of Ruth to the south, is that paved there or is that gravel or will it be paved? What are the plans there? Again, I'm kind of like Tim. I'm looking at the graphic here in the packet. Trey, do you have that graphic?
So the highlighted area on that graphic is the project area. There is no road there currently. Where the word Clyde Street is, there is no road currently. But from that property west, there is an existing Clyde Street that is paved with open ditches. The KDOT project replaces that with curb and gutter street
Okay.
with sidewalk.
Thanks, Les. Mr. Mayor,
Oh, yes.
I move to approve the KDOT city-state agreement for South Backage Road, Clyde Cloud Street from Allen Street to 8th Mile West Project, KA-7972-01, and authorize the mayor's signature.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say yes.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. Tyler Technology Software and Voice, and Matt is going to speak to us about this. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mr. Mayor?
All right. What kind of socks you got on?
Tonight I have planes, little pink and green planes.
That's disappointing.
Well, I almost wore your favorites tonight, but I changed my mind. It wasn't a special enough occasion. We just got to pay bills tonight. Tonight we have for you the request for your authorization to pay Tyler Technologies for the city's annual renewal of our financial management software. The software is working well for us. We're entering our 11th year, so we've had it for 10 years now with Tyler Technologies, and I think if anything, we're really kind of just hitting our stride where we have a lot of good historical information in there that we can use for reporting and move forward with. We've really started ramping up what we do with it in the last couple of years. We use it for our budgeting, and we've added some new features in the last couple of years, and we're really using it, getting close to using it to the best of its abilities. But it is more than staff expenditure authority, and it is greater than the consent agenda allows per our purchasing policy. So it is an item on the agenda for us to discuss and for me to request authorization to pay it.
So it's fair to say you're happy with it?
I am happy with it, quite.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
has that price changed over the years? Is it locked in?
That price does increase. They have a percentage that it goes up every year. I believe it's 5%. If you were to look at this over last year, it's more than 5%, which is why I tucked in there that we have added to it. We've added the project accounting module, accounts receivable, and an employee onboarding module.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes,
Are all the funds from this coming from, per se, your specific budget, or does this come from different departments within the city?
So this is budgeted that it comes completely out of the administration budget. And then there is a transfer from the utility fund, from the wastewater fund, that covers the portion of it that the utilities would be required to cover. We don't split this out across all of the different funds in the general fund because it's a lot of effort for something that all comes from the general fund either way.
And do all departments use it?
In budget season, yes.
Okay.
I mean, it
would
benefits
also
all
point out
departments.
we're adding the onboarding, so it will be used by all new hires to do all of their W-2s. All of that will be done through it moving forward. So there will be a touch for everybody.
I would add, yes, the other departments are using it because we use it to do AP and we really enjoy it, by the way. It's really streamlining that effort instead of doing paper.
thank you.
So the first line item is municipal justice annual fee. Can we not make the court pay for some of that? I mean, they're the only ones using that, correct? Court public access and.
We
criminal
absolutely
case-
could put that in the court department. It's still part of the general
It's
fund
still,
though.
it's still from,
So
all
it's-
from the general fund.
Yeah.
And the last one on here is Tyler University. Is that a specific program that we use, or?
That's a training program that they offer. They have an entire website of videos and online classes and things that we can use to our benefit to teach ourselves how to use the product better.
And
we
that's
use
an
it
add-on
regularly.
this year.
The university part?
Yes.
No, we have had that in the past.
Oh, you have, okay.
Wow. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to authorize payment to Tyler Technologies for annual software costs in the amount of $65,940.96.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. Member items. And let's start with the phone.
Starting at the other end.
Yep.
Late birthday present? Okay, sorry. Happy birthday, Jody. I want to say, if you didn't get a chance, explore. So our annual egg hunt was, spot on. It was amazing. I loved every minute of it. Took my youngest out there. My oldest volunteered out there. That was just a bang up job. So Megan, Beth, Daniel, everyone, all the volunteers that stuffed eggs, 17,000 eggs were done. That was awesome. So I just look forward to doing that every year, and it was a great job. I think that's about it. I don't really have a lot.
Rick, as well as all the city staff that's here, I would like to thank you for giving credit to your staff on your 20 years speech. I do also appreciate you pointing out the upper management that has allowed you the freedom to utilize and train your staff lead. There's definitely a difference between a boss and a leader. And from those individuals that I've talked to, you are by far a leader, and that is greatly appreciated. Upper management as well, I would like to say thank you for allowing people like Rick and all the other department heads to do the same. It does reflect that we have such a great staff working for us, as well as staff members that do not want to leave. So it is a testament to everybody in this room, and I want to thank you all. Other than that, I'll pass on.
I don't have a whole lot of great news per se. There's lots of stuff coming out of the State House right now that I'm hoping will be vetoed. Some property tax. We all want property tax relief. We understand that. However, without property tax, we don't have any funding, and without funding, the roads won't get plowed. Lots of things. So, if there's anybody listening, just pay attention right now. I know Jenny and Jolene they're keeping an eye out very closely. JT probably is as well. There's a lot of stuff right now regarding property tax and what the city can budget for next year. I personally understand sometimes, I get that property tax bill and you really, want to wonder what the heck's going on. And as a city, we do the best we can. I believe the county does, and all the other taxing agencies do as well. One thing that came out of a board meeting last week was home rule and what home rule means to you or means to us as a citizen. So Megan, that's one thing I wanted to set up some time and chat with about. I think we need to educate our citizens why home rule matters. Why is it important? Why, back in, I think it's 1969, am I right, JT? When they created it, why it was voted on and why it was part of the state constitution. Now it is state constitution or amendment something. I'm not a smart man. I think if citizens of our community, county, state would realize how important home rule is, I think they would start standing up to our senators and legislation up in Topeka. I can't remember the exact stat, and somebody will correct me, I'm sure, but I think only like 20%, even less, have actually ever served on a local city government board that are our state senators and Congress, not Congress, our legislature up there. So they've never ran a city like this. So it's very frustrating, especially as cities trying to develop and budget for next year, being told how we can budget, which is, like I said, I'm all about property tax relief, but we have to have funds and people expect things from the city to come about. You guys, the citizens, elect us to decide what's important for our city. And that's very important. So here I'm rambling.
No,
I'm done.
So I'm gonna follow you because it was a couple years ago, they tried to do away with the city sales tax. And there were small towns from all over Kansas up there, including ours, saying, hey, these jobs are going away. And most of them had badges or fire suits. The same thing. I say it all the time. It's my soapbox, and thank you. how about I said a bad word? It irritates me that they sit up there at the state level, everything I'm reading about municipalities are causing all these problems. I always say municipalities have more to do with your day-to-day life than the president of the United States. Yeah, my gas may be a little higher. Gas may go up, food may go up and all that. But the quality of your life depends on these folks sitting at this counter. And these folks out here, we make the decisions on, hey, how do we have enough police officers? How do we have enough firefighters? How do we have a nice park that you can enjoy? All your quality of life things happen right here. And they're doing everything they can right now, tonight, trying to take our ability to serve our community. And quite frankly, it pisses me off. So, yeah, pardon?
Amen.
And
Keep
so
going, yeah.
as much as this group, it seems like we're all kumbaya out here. That's not the case. We're always pushing each other about this dollar, that dollar. But the reason we do it is because this community and every community like us deserve to have quality of life that they ask for. That's why people move to our city, quality of life. And so make phone calls, do emails. And I know there's not a lot of you listen, but y'all that are listening, do vote. So pay attention to what they're doing to us. It's not a right thing. It's not a left thing. It's that they're trying to destroy our ability to take care of our citizens in a worst way. Now I'll quit. Sorry about that.
Well said, Mayor.
Yeah, I do have a couple things, but thank you to Tim and to Mayor for everything you said. I think that we all are in agreement that that's something that is extremely important to us. I wanted to bring up a couple things. I think it was maybe last council meeting or the meeting before. Hands to Serve was here and explained what they do. Actually, I got a call from my mom, who's in her 70s and in the mobile home park, and they fixed some back steps for her. And it was just an amazing experience. And for them to do that for her I'm very, very grateful. So the fact that we do support that, I just want to say thank you to all of you and to the Hands to Serve community that did that. I want everyone to pay attention to the weather over the next few months. We are in the spring storms and we do live in Kansas and it can get volatile as much as I hate it, as much as everyone else. But I do want everyone to be safe this time of year. And for the Parks Department and the city for the Explorer here, it was absolutely amazing. And thank you for all the new features and the things that you guys did this year. I think it was really great. And as always, our street department, first responders, thank you guys for all you do. I know these next few weeks or a few months, I should say, that we're in the scary spring weather. I know that you guys are constantly watching and doing a job. So thank you for all you guys do.
Beth Green rocks, by the way. Everybody let her know, would you?
Yes.
That she does. Okay, that's my British accent.
You need a
All right. On a serious note, I generally agree property tax relief is an important thing. I do feel that the structure of the cap on property tax increases, rewards either stagnant or shrinking communities and doesn't reward communities like ours who are attracting new citizens. So I hope we can do a better version of however we deliver property tax relief to our citizens. On a positive note, I was able to ride the entire 5.5 miles from Point 9 to the new bridge on my bike on Sunday, and it was great. I encourage everyone, I don't know if I'm the first or maybe the most recent city council member to do that. Highly encourage anybody to get out in nature.
Is that an e-bike, Tim?
It was not an e-bike.
Okay.
Don't bring up e-bikes, please.
It was, yeah.
I rode my golf cart.
It was powered by me, and I was not the fastest bike on the trail.
Good for you.
But I did enjoy some nice food at Point Nine at the end of my bike ride with my brother Mark. Shout out Mark. Also shout out Mr. Shapaw. He's here at the back. I saw the Girl Scout group troop, I should say, that sold over 7,000 boxes. That's looking forward to doing some projects around town. So I appreciate you partnering with them. There may be another Girl Scout group. Oh, no, maybe he bought some boxes. 7,000 boxes. What a generous deal. No, I think that's great to see young people exhibiting leadership and starting to serve their community in that way. That's all I got.
I just want to echo some of Jody's comments that the last meeting we didn't get to have the opportunity to have this time because of a severe weather event. So at that meeting, I plan to thank Mr. Smith for volunteering his time for planning and zoning. He took my seat on that position, and very important work they do there. So those are all volunteers, and just want to thank all of our volunteers for helping out there. Parks and Rec met the Wednesday after our last council meeting, and we have a lot of exciting things that will be coming to council soon, including a restroom at the Cornerstone Park. So very exciting there. And then I want to thank the staff and the mayor. They invited me to tour Sherwin-Williams. Was that just last week? Just last week.
That was awesome.
Very incredible company that we have in our community, and just want to highlight that their paint is used in countless industries and they impact so many other things and just really incredible what they do. So want to thank them for being here in Andover and thank the staff for taking me along. I was a little afraid at times too. The machinery they have in that building is incredible. So, and that's it for me.
So a lot of their stuff, I had no clue.
Yeah.
So a lot of their stuff is for painting, I don't know, aircraft carriers, bridges.
Oil and gas,
Oil and
rail
gas.
cars.
They don't do houses, so it's very impressive
Yeah.
to say, oh man, the stuff that they do, man. And they give us, and we can set up another one for, I'm sure, to get more people to go.
Yeah.
Because it's just worth knowing what they're doing in our. It's a great place, man. So, yeah. So, all right. Can I get a motion, or do you want to hang out a while, Jody?
Nope. Wait,
Oh.
Les has something.
I just wanted to throw a plug out there for the Site Plan Review Committee. Our chairman, Todd Wolsencroft, has resigned. So we have a spot open. If you all know anyone who would be interested, those are folks who are engineers, architects, builders, people in the trades that we're looking for.
We're going to have Dana put that on the interweb.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Yes.
Yes.
All
Yes, I yes it.
no. Thank you all.